Hello everyone, I'm joined here by Ms. Mayurika Handa, the Director of IT and Risk at Cybersecurity Consultants. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today.
Hi, Amreen. Thank you so much. Thank you to CXO Experts for, giving us this platform and arranging something like this. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad to do this with you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So to begin with, I would like to firstly start off with understanding your journey. Can you walk us through your experiences at Indian Navy as well as, what learnings kind of you got to push you towards your cybersecurity career today?
All right. To begin with, how my Navy journey began. I would have to go a little bit back. I am actually a third generation 4G. So my grandfather was in the Air Force. My father was a fighter pilot in the Indian Navy. And so I've always seen that, I've been brought up in that environment. And that sort of inspired me to pursue this journey. In addition, what sort of aided me was always an environment of encouragement from my parents. Both of them were sports persons, and they've always instilled um, sports and athletics and that drive in me. Sometime back I was having a conversation with someone at office, and that made me realize how privileged I am in terms of having that kind of an opportunity, to
Mm-hmm.
be able to explore, to be able to go out. And so all of these small things sort of built the foundation of how I joined the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm a national level badminton player, so I've been doing that throughout. So that instilled a lot of discipline
Mm-hmm.
in me, and I've been out and about since a very young age, playing, competing, trekking. So these things built my foundation in terms of what it takes to not only get in the Navy, but to be able to survive that environment, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a very stressful environment,
Of course.
right? Yes. So then after joining the Navy, I have a computer science background, as I've already told you, and I have an MBA in operations and finance.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Navy, my role was a logistics officer. I was handling operations and supply chain management. And in addition, since I have an IT background, I was interested with IT projects also. So, just to give you a brief in terms of what I've done in the Navy. So what I'll do is I'll give you a few details about my primary duties, what I was handling, and then I'll, just highlight a few of the ancillary duties or additional duties that I've handled. To begin with, the IT projects that I've handled in Indian Navy, I was handling Indian Navy's entire clothing inventory management system. All right, including handling the entire clothing inventory. In terms of dependent personnel, the system was handling about 55,000 personnel. That's the entire Navy, spread across about 33 units, pan India, including a lot of outstation units which are located at very remote locations.
Mm-hmm.
So this includes all the units and establishments and also the ships. So to just give you a bit of detail in terms of the complexity that was involved in managing the system is in terms of, okay, so when you go to a mall and if you're trying to buy something, as compared to when you are going to a tailor and getting stitched something customized, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the uniform that we wear in Indian Navy, all right, so we are some of us are entitled to it, so we had contracts and we had to manage that entire inventory, that for every person in the
Mm-hmm.
Navy, all right, you would come to us, we would get your measurements done, and that uniform would be stitched for you and it would be given to you,
Mm-hmm.
irrespective of the fact wherever you are in the Indian Navy, because you keep moving
Okay.
around,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the kind of complexity the system had to handle. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the procedure is what I've told you. Now we had a system in place which was managing all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
that was something that I had done.
Okay.
At a later stage, I was also part of a IT project which involved the upgrade of Indian Navy's entire inventory management system. So
Okay.
that's the entire inventory management system that the Navy uses.
Mm-hmm.
It was a project actually which was done in-house in about 20 years back. All
Mm-hmm.
right, and it was being maintained in-house by naval personnel. So it was
Okay.
built by us, being maintained by us, and I was part
Mm-hmm.
of a project which upgraded it. All
Mm-hmm.
right, that project took us about 2 years, and the complexities of that project were so immense, because the technology that we were using is an age old technology. They're legacy
Of
systems.
course.
And to be able to understand that technology and to work with that, that itself was a challenge. And
Mm-hmm.
then now you come and upgrade, because all of our systems are air gapped.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot, security is of utmost importance,
Of course.
because the implications of a breach in terms of such a system can be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting project that I handled in the Indian Navy. All right. So this is particular to IT. The second part of the duties that I've handled was the core operations and supply chain management that I've handled.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a place, I was in Chennai for about 4 years, where I was supporting about 8 ships and 65 units spread across Tamil Nadu
Okay.
and Pondicherry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So their entire administration, food, clothing, payroll,
Mm-hmm.
transportation, housing, accommodation, all of that was being managed by us, including
Mm-hmm.
the budget. So that was a very interesting experience, because it was on ground.
Mm-hmm.
Every day was a new day. You
Mm-hmm.
face new challenges. You and For a very long time in that unit, I was the only woman officer
Mm-hmm.
amongst, say, about 120 men.
Okay.
So to be in such a space and to hold your space, and to be able to make a mark,
Mm-hmm.
you have to do a little bit extra. And honestly, um, being in this forum and having this conversation, I would like to put it on record that I am not a person who's has a lot of firsts, because a lot of people, and rightly so, boast about being that I'm the first at this, I'm the first woman at this, or I'm the first person who's done this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am lucky to be able to make a statement that no, I am not the first person to have done that.
Mm-hmm.
you know because I understand the value of that statement, because I understand that I am standing on the shoulders of someone who's already done that, who's paved the way for me.
Of
All right.
course.
So I would like for more people to be able to make such a statement that, yes, I'm not the first, I am one of many.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I feel where we should be in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the tech space, in terms of women, in terms of, being individuals.
Mm-hmm.
All
Of
right.
course, yes.
Yeah.
So when we talk about like you have given such an extensive idea about what your role was in the military, I would like to understand that yes, you had a huge play in the cyber role when it comes in the military. So what pushed you to take up an enterprise type of a role? Uh, that too in cybersecurity. Did you never think like maybe I can try in other aspects of it, like maybe infrastructure, or other?
All right. So IT has always interested me. IT
Mhm.
and cybersecurity is obviously attached to IT. The reason why I did computer science, in fact, I mean, I will keep going back and forth if that's all right.
Mhm.
Um, when I started pursued my journey of doing computer science, it was for a very particular reason of I liked how logical it was.
Mhm.
I have that problem solving skill in me where I want to break everything down into ones and zeros. All
Mhm.
right. So, in fact, at that point in time, the combination that I wanted to actually study was computer science and psychology. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, at that time in India,
Mhm.
that wasn't offered. So I went ahead with computer science and I pursued that journey. So it is something that has stayed with me. So IT has always been close to my heart.
Mhm.
It is who I am. In terms of transitioning, from Navy and moving on into a cybersecurity role, it came naturally. All
Mhm.
right. It is because it is the space that I've been in, and being part of Cyber Vahak, I am involved in growing and scaling Cyber Vahak. All right.
Mhm.
So I'm handling not just IT risk and cybersecurity, I'm handling the entire operations.
Mhm.
So it's a beautiful journey, because I've had the opportunity to use what all I've learned in the Navy, in
Mhm.
terms of the diverse portfolio that I've handled. So that expertise, that experience is something that is, helping me building Cybervahak.
Mhm. Mhm. Got it. And uh, like you said, at Cyberwahak, you're helping set up the operations and whatnot. So, what kind of unique challenges have you faced, both in terms of operations, but also, as a woman project holder, in the sense you do have an equity in the company. So, in that sense, what kind of issues have you faced being a partner, being a person in operations, and being a woman in, as a leader?
All right. Um, okay. So if you look at this question, what I'll do is I'll break it down into a few parts. How I look at building Cyberwahak is, building it internally and then expanding externally. All right. So when we are building it internally, there is something that, my mantra which I follow is always build to sustain.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then you nurture to grow. So my focus when I came initially was to make sure that our foundation was solid.
Mm-hmm.
So I focused on internal procedures, making sure that everything was standardized, things were in place. Teams knew exactly what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now when you look at a company which is when I joined the company, we were about 6 months old.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you have to build everything from ground up. You have to have all policies in place. You have to understand. So my role was not just limited to say operations. It was actually reading up on all the acts, reading
Mm-hmm.
up on all the regulations and frameworks, knowing and understanding our client base and what is our market,
Mm-hmm.
and then building an ecosystem where the entire team is comfortable, where the entire team knows what they have to do, knows when they are supposed to do, what they're supposed to do, and in case they get stuck, what are they supposed to do
Mm-hmm.
in that kind of a
Okay.
situation. So it's just, building the foundation and the skeleton. That
Mm-hmm.
is what I focused at. All right. Apart from doing that, obviously, our company understands the digital ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just any other cybersecurity consulting or a solutions company. We
Mm-hmm.
understand because we've spent that much time in the industry. We understand what the industry requires,
Mm-hmm.
where the global market is, and where we are heading in terms of cybersecurity requirements. So our
Mm-hmm.
focus is, building solutions which are not, ready for the present.
Mm-hmm.
They're already, they're ready for the future. They will adapt to the future because with the pace that we are going at, you have to have solutions which are extremely adaptive and
Mm-hmm.
extremely resilient,
Mm-hmm.
because that is something that a lot of companies will realize in
Mm-hmm.
times to come.
Definitely. And how about your experience as a woman who has to, be a leader, in sense that, in the army you get respect based on your position, you get respect as per the vardi, as they say, as per your, the uniform. So, but in an enterprise, it is like it's a little tough to get the confidence of your peers, to get, especially as a women leader, it is something that I have noticed. So, what has been your experience, and what would be your advice?
All right. So, the way you mentioned that in the armed forces, you get respect, right? And you've rightly mentioned that the Vardi gets respect,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is not Mayurika who gets the respect. It is
Mm-hmm.
my uniform and my rank that gets respect.
Mm-hmm.
To actually earn the respect of my team, of my subordinates, of my peers, and my seniors, I have to earn it. So,
Mm-hmm.
I have worked hard towards it. And when you come into a room, leaders are not leaders because of just words.
Mm-hmm.
Leaders are leaders because of what they emulate. Your actions always speak louder than, what you say in a meeting or, what you say in a mail. It is what you actually do on ground, what you do in situations of stress, how you handle problems, because you're being noticed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Um, to earn respect, because
Mm-hmm.
respect is not freely given,
Of course.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So to earn respect, you have to have caliber, and caliber comes from hard work. I am telling you, I might not be the first in terms of what I've done, but I can assure you I'm the best at what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a few years since I've left Navy, and I still get calls from my course who are in the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
seeking advice in terms of the things that they're supposed to do in Navy.
Mm-hmm.
That is the kind of reputation that I've built for myself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have to work hard, you have to be diligent, and you have to be out there. Your caliber will always speak for you, and your reputation precedes you everywhere.
Mhm.
Build your reputation. But see, the thing is, you have to work hard. Whatever comes out of your mouth, and
Mhm.
the work that you're doing has to be visible and has to be credible.
Mhm.
That is where, you know, people will respect you automatically then.
Mhm.
If they see that the work that you're doing, if your actions, are in line with your words, they see how you handle stressful situations. You
Mhm.
know, your team will see how you are facing a problem, whether you crumble, in a stressful situation,
Mhm.
or do you panic, or how exactly are you handling that situation.
Mhm.
And since I was put in leadership roles in the Indian Navy at the age of 24, 25.
Mhm.
All right. So to be able to handle um, men who were my father's age at that point in time, all right,
Mhm.
you can't tell them what to do,
Yeah.
right? Because they, the years of age that I had was the amount of experience that they had.
Yeah.
All right, so I had to earn their earn their respect, and I've
Mhm.
worked hard towards it. When I left Navy, I've left an impact in terms of the people that I worked with, and they are your biggest asset. All right,
Mhm.
and they will be your truest judges.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Definitely. So, in this company that you're in right now in Cyberwahak, is there any particular standout project that has actually built your philosophy, like you mentioned, build to sustain and then nurture to grow? So, as per this mantra, like you said, has there been any current or ongoing standout project in the company?
All
So,
right. In the past year, we've been very busy developing a lot of solutions, which would bridge the gap in terms of the requirement that the ecosystem currently has.
Mhm.
All right. We and I would I am proud to put it on record over here that all of our platforms are made in India. All right. They are built in house. The expertise is in house. All right. So I would like to tell you about a couple of solutions. So we have CyberWahak Guardian, which is our SOC solution,
Mhm.
and also, as you know, I was mentioning earlier, there's a software called the CyberWahak Breach Guard.
Mhm.
So with the DPDP coming in, right, we understand the importance of our data and what kind of an implication a data breach can have. Right, so CyberWahak Breach Guard is a platform that we offer, which scans and analyzes the dark web for your information breaches.
Mhm.
All right, so it's a solution which has been devised with a lot of thought and an understanding, because in terms of it tells you where your data has been breached, what kind of a breach, how long
Mhm.
was it ago, and a lot of information about how your data was leaked. And
Mhm.
see, the point is, okay, yes, I've understood, my data was breached.
Mhm.
What is the next step that I need to do? So
Mhm.
our report also gives you guidance in terms of this was the kind of breach and this is the action that you need to take. So
Mhm.
that is something that we see would be very useful, not only for companies,
Mhm.
but for educational institutions and also individual as at large,
Mhm.
because of the data privacy laws that are coming in force.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, how do you see, like, what would be your advice to, small and medium businesses, even individuals, when it comes to their company security, their individual security, personal security, it comes to? What would be your advice, and how would your products in particular apply to them?
See, all right. In terms of cybersecurity, any company, if they think that we do not need cybersecurity, they are already in a soup.
Mhm.
All right. Any company which has any digital asset requires cybersecurity. Now, the market sometimes offers solutions built for, say, medium or large scale setups, right? A organization which is a small organization, not particularly even in the digital space, a lot of our clients are actually manufacturing and pharma.
Mhm.
So we understand the ecosystem where you are IT light,
Mhm.
all right, and to be able to provide solutions which are obviously a value add for you, right?
Mhm.
So in this case, there are two three things that you need to understand. What are my most vulnerable points? All
Mhm.
right, so that is something that you look at internally in terms of where is my risk the largest. As a
Mhm.
small organization also, if you know your operations, right, you would know in terms of my IT space where is the largest risk.
Mhm.
That is what you address first.
Mhm.
All right. It could be data breaches. All right. It could be your network security. So the first thing that I would want you to do is assess your organization and understand this is my biggest risk.
Mhm.
And that is what I would want to address first. All
Mhm.
right. Now, in terms of addressing it, the few things that, like the solutions that we offer, especially for smaller organizations and bigger organizations also, you could go ahead with our CyberVahak file guard, all right,
Mhm.
which is or CyberVahak Refine. Now,
Mhm.
CyberVahak Refine is a firewall governance and monitoring system that we offer, all right,
Mhm.
even for the smallest organizations, because you do not have IT expertise,
Mhm.
all right. We understand that you don't have, and we don't expect that from you.
Mhm.
Our solutions are plug and play solutions, which fit into your environment in such a way that the dependency on you reduces.
Mhm. Got it.
All right. And the
Mhm.
second solution that I would recommend, I would definitely recommend for smaller organizations would be CyberVahak Guardian. That's a SOC and SOAR solution that we have.
Mhm.
See, our aim is to build solutions that are plug and play for the smallest of organizations. And when I say a small organization, I mean an organization which could have as small as, just 5 laptops.
Mhm.
That is the scale that I'm talking about. All
Of
right.
course, yes.
Because we've had those kind of clients, we've had queries from very small setups who understand,
Mhm.
the urgency of cybersecurity, who understand the risks that they have, and they've come to us and they've asked for us, assistance.
Mhm.
And that is where we realized that the market at large is actually a part of this segment also, which has
Mhm.
not really been looked at. And they do have budget constraints. All
Mhm.
right, a startup, a small company would have budget constraints.
Mhm.
Now, to push a big product on them, which they do not understand, which they might not even be able to utilize fully, does not make sense.
Of course, yeah.
All right. So,
So in typically like in the Indian mentality is when we have very small companies, typically the business owners believe that no, okay, even if we have 5 laptops, chalega, we will manage. We don't need cybersecurity. But what kind of like in your experience have you seen any kind of devastating breaches or anything that you can let us know on record maybe?
um, breaches, yes. Small organizations also, bigger organizations also. We've handled ransomware and breach attacks for Indian and international clients too. All right. And smaller clients also, and bigger clients and PSUs also.
Mhm.
So it's rampant, it's happening.
Mhm.
All right. Um, that's what, I started with this. If you think that you don't need cybersecurity, you're in a soup. It's going to be a
Mhm.
big problem for you.
Of course.
All right. If you have a digital asset, or if you are in a digital space, if you have a website, if you have a mobile application, you
Mhm.
need cybersecurity.
Mhm.
That's where it is.
Of course. So now coming more to your personal insights, I would like to understand. Recently, we also had the DPDP Act kind of refurbished in a way, improved. And how do you see this affecting, not just the cybersecurity mentality that is going on in India, especially with data protection? Data privacy is honestly a myth at this point, we can say. So, how do you see this mentality shifting from someone who doesn't care about their privacy to someone who's hyper conscious about it? Reading all terms and conditions, ensuring that anytime you tick somewhere, you understand the contract, understand the basis of it.
See, the first and foremost thing is that, the DPTP Act, which has come into force, is something that was required.
Hmm.
And us, you and I, individuals, we are data principals. It is
Mm-hmm.
our data that is being used. All right. So I think one of the recommendations for everyone at large, for all of us data principals, would be to go and read the DPTP Act. It's
Mm-hmm.
21 pages. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Or you find summaries of it in terms of, what it has to offer. Because till the time we do not have an understanding of our rights,
Mm-hmm.
we will not be able to exercise them.
Mm-hmm.
DPDP exclusively gives you a right to ask the data fiduciary in terms of where your data is being used.
Mm-hmm.
I have a right to ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
Where my data is being used, what is it being used for, how long are you going to use it, and most importantly, is that, you know, I want you to stop using my data.
Mm-hmm.
I have a right to say that now,
Yeah.
right? So that is something I wish people would be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
These things in particular, all right? And now companies exclusively have to tell you in unambiguous terms, all right? They're very clear about this part of
Mm-hmm.
being unambiguous in terms of where I'm going to use your data, what am I going to use it for. Clearly mention the purpose, the period that it is going to be used for, all right? And who's going to be using your data.
Mm-hmm.
And the consent also has to be given in an unambiguous manner. So the structure of this entire framework is benefited to us. We are
Mm-hmm.
the beneficiaries,
Mm-hmm.
but we also do have a little bit of responsibility in terms of understanding what are our rights,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Of course, yes.
Yes. So if you don't know what you can ask for, you'll never ask for it,
Of course,
right?
that is it. So, like, perfectly put example would be like how WhatsApp in India is currently being asked to, make it clear or leave the market,
Yes.
basically, right?
Yes.
So, in those terms, what kind of shifts do you see that will be coming into the market in the next, 5 years, 10 years time when it comes to not just DPDP but in cyber security in general?
All right. In terms of DPDP, the government has given clear deadlines. All right. By November 2027,
Mm-hmm.
organizations have to be fully compliant
Mm-hmm.
in terms of all the rules and regulations that are mandated by the DPDP. Um, in terms of cybersecurity trends and where we are heading, uh, it's fast. It's moving really, really fast. Uh, AI is at the forefront of it. All right. Now, if you look at Security Operations Center, the use of AI by cyber criminals and the use of AI by people who are managing SOC or
Mm-hmm.
SOC in particular, it has come to a stage where it is AI competing with AI,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I would like to sort of address a fact in terms of the buzzword that is AI. All right. Now, there are two components to artificial intelligence. The first is what is artificial intelligence, and the second component is how to use artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you see in the market the buzzword with AI, a lot of people are trying to understand how to use artificial intelligence
Mm-hmm.
without really understanding what is artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in the bridge course that I had done on AI and ML with IIT Madras, this was some time back,
Mm-hmm.
that is where the focus was
Mm-hmm.
in understanding what exactly AI is. For someone who is keen, I would definitely recommend getting into this first,
Mm-hmm.
because that is when you realize what AI actually has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you don't understand what AI is, right, you will not be able to exploit it fully.
Mm-hmm.
You will not be able to enhance it, and you will definitely not understand its limitations.
Of course,
The
yes.
third point in terms of understanding the limitations is very crucial, because people are using AI a lot now, and we are becoming more and more dependent on it
Yeah.
without understanding the repercussion and limitations of our interactions with it. All
Mm-hmm.
right, now this is with organizations also. If a lot of organizations are bringing AI on board, having their own LLMs also, right,
Mm-hmm.
without giving due focus on the limitations of the system. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so you need to have safeguards in place for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important, because that will ensure safety and security of your data and people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is something that I see going forward will increase,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it should increase responsibly.
Of course.
Yes.
So, like you rightly mentioned, the dependency on AI has increased, and uh, you can see there's a lot of endpoint security issues when it comes to AI. I don't mean endpoint in the literal way,
Yes.
but
Yes.
of course, a lot of employees use
Hmm.
it. There's a lack of cyber awareness in terms of If today I'm using AI, I need a proposal to be ready, so I'll just upload my proposal. I'll be like, yes, give me this in a PPT format. So there is my first breach. Kind of, I've given all my data, I've given all my commercials and whatnot. So I believe that across India right now, with the newer generations coming into the workforce, AI is very rampant.
Absolutely.
They have used it in college, so they'll
Yes.
use it in office and
Yes.
moving forward.
Yes.
So, in your opinion, what kind of trainings do companies, not just large enterprises, they of course have it, but small enterprises typically overlook this.
Mhm.
So, what kind of trainings would you suggest small businesses, even medium-sized businesses, to conduct in their offices? How regularly? What should actually be instilled among the employees?
Understood. So if you look at it, we can build the most secure digital system
Mm-hmm.
that there is to offer. Have, you know, firewalls and, secure everything, have air gaps,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are still breaches,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a system is as strong as the weakest link.
Of
And a
course.
lot of times we are the weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you've, very rightly brought out in this chain of thought, the importance of instilling cyber awareness, the importance of instilling cyber education is not something that should be done on an ad hoc basis.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be continuous.
Yeah.
All right. And in terms of it being continuous, if you look at it, for larger organizations, for smaller organizations, and also for individuals at large,
Mm-hmm.
we are being bombarded with data,
Mm-hmm.
and information in terms of we should, not share our OTPs. I'm just giving you an example.
Mm-hmm.
We should not share our OTPs. We should not share our PIN numbers. We should not upload our data, or, the proposal and commercials on a particular AI model. But why?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's addressing the why of
Why,
it,
of course, yeah.
right? So our endeavor is to make people understand the why of it. When you understand why, that is the time when you will understand, oh, this is what happens if I do this.
Mm-hmm.
So the training should sort of shift in terms of what you should do and what you shouldn't do to the why of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The younger generation is very intelligent. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be, if you explain, with a little bit of logic to everyone, people generally understand.
Yeah.
Training and education has to be imparted continuously,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to be done, the way what you said is absolutely right. It has to be done at an intern level, and it has to be done at the CEO level too.
Mm-hmm.
So the scale of the organization doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be done at the intern level, and it has to be done at the CEO level too. I
Mm-hmm.
think that should answer the question, because as an organization, if you understand this, you will understand that training is not just for a particular set of employees,
Mm-hmm.
right? Training and awareness is for everyone.
Of course. So I have seen actually a couple of my friends in corporates, they do end up getting an email from the HR. They're like, okay, you've won so and so thing, and here's a link. So if they click it, then they're put into mandatory cyber training
Yes.
courses.
Yes.
So okay, that was a great conversation. And just to end all of this, I wanted to ask your advice to the next generation of women who are looking to be leaders in their own fields, in their own tech fields. What would be your suggestion to them?
So talking about cybersecurity in particular, if you look at the industry as a whole, all right, cybersecurity is growing at a very fast pace. All right, it's a
Mhm.
booming industry, and it is an industry that touches all sectors,
Mhm.
and it is global. There is a dearth and there's a shortage of talented cybersecurity professionals in the market. There are so many roles that need to be fulfilled, but then we do not have enough talented professionals to fill those roles.
Mhm.
So if you look at the job vacancies, yes, they are there,
Mhm.
but it is a market which is evolving very fast. All
Mhm.
right, so you need to stay updated. So in terms of and also another touch point would be that, if when I say cybersecurity, the mind generally goes to say, a big IT company or a tech company.
Mhm.
But we need to understand that cybersecurity is something that is used everywhere.
Mhm.
It is used in educational institutions, it is used in manufacturing, it is used in pharma, it is used in the energy and power sector.
Mhm.
It is everywhere.
Of course.
I mean, to give you an example. I have a very dear friend, Dr. Kamakshi. So she works at the cusp of energy distribution center systems and cybersecurity.
Okay.
So it's a very niche field that
Yeah.
she is. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving this example to sort of bring a little bit of awareness in terms of the vastness of and the spread of cybersecurity um, in the Indian and global ecosystem. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, yes, there are a lot of opportunities
Mm-hmm.
in terms of cybersecurity and tech at large.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be skilled enough for it. All right. So, um, look at being skilled in terms of AI. There are a lot of roles available for, say, GRC, for SOC. So you can always explore these kind of roles. Um, in terms of, since the technology is moving so fast, the focus now is not what you know,
Mm-hmm.
it is on how you can learn and how fast you can learn. If you understand this, you will see that the world is yours.
Mhm. That's amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am, for having this conversation with us. I'm sure that a lot of women who have read your article as well in the Visas magazine, as well as this interview today, have learned a lot from your experience and will aspire to, have the same kind of career or even objective in life. So thank you so much, ma'am, for having
Thank you
this
so much,
conversation.
Amreen, and it was a pleasure interacting with you. And hope we can have more such opportunities to interactions, especially with women and leaders who are not only in the tech space but also industries at large. It would be a wonderful platform. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.